The new way to run meta ads in 2026. How you doing, guys? Now, as we all know, there is a new update called Meta Andromeda, and that has left a lot of people questioning whether or not their strategy is still up to date with regards to meta ads in terms of structure, how to run the campaigns. And in this video, I want to go through all of that and also give you guys some tips and tricks on how you can improve your metrics, lower your CPA, and increase your return on ad spend. So without rambling on too much, let's hop into the computer. So let's start at the start. This has not really changed too much, but if you've run ads a few years back and you're only just starting to run ads again now, you will notice that there are no longer 12 to 15 different objectives. It's been consolidated into awareness, traffic, engagement, leads, app promotion, and sales. Now, in 99.9% of the time, you will only be using the sales objective if you want to get revenue for your e-com store. So the awareness campaign, where we get literally brand awareness, we get more video views, and we reach more people, all sounds great in theory, but what you need to understand is that these people will not necessarily place an order. So what you select here is what Meta will literally optimize for. Simply put, if you want more traffic onto your website, but these people to not do anything else, then by all means go for the traffic objective. You will get a low cost per click, you'll get a high click-through rate, but other than that, do not expect too much. The way this now works with the algorithm is that Meta already knows what people do based off of their online behavior. If you're someone that is most likely to order online, if you place orders off of your phone, if you're someone that is an engaged shopper based off of your social media activity, meaning that you see an ad, you click on the ad, you place an order, all of these micro data points get registered by Meta, and Meta remembers this. So the next time someone else, so a media buyer, a brand, a marketer, wants to target people that are most likely to click on ads and place an order, you might see that ad. So that is how you also need to reverse engineer that from a marketing standpoint. If you want people to place orders, then select the sales objective. Now, for those of you that have been watching my content for a longer time, or are familiar with the sort of direct response marketing space, this is common knowledge. However, there are still a lot of people, including agencies, that still select the traffic and the awareness and the engagement objective. And that's not to say that there is not, it's never useful. We've had, situations in the past where there is literally no call to action. There's no sales objective. Like, the whole point of the campaign was reach. And then, yes, of course, in that case, the awareness campaign or the traffic campaign is perfect, because you're not paying top dollar for someone that is most likely to convert if there's no conversion objective. So yeah, if you want sales, go for the sales objective. Do not try and outsmart the algorithm. It will not work. When we select the sales objective, there are a few changes that we just need to take into consideration. Obviously, campaign budget, ad set budget is still the complete same. That has not really changed much. There are a few changes in terms of the budget strategy. We now have highest volume or value. And again, this has been here for quite a while, but for those of you that have not been running ads for a while, this may be new to you. So as you can see here, highest volume or value will get the most results or purchase value for your budget. Then of course you've got your cost caps, your bid caps, etc., and you now also have a ROAS goal. So that will mean that it's kind of the same as with Google. We've got the ROAS target. You can now tell Meta, okay, I kind of need a ROAS of 3, so only spend money if you think I can get a ROAS of 3. Now, this works with brands that have a lot of data, that have a very consistent average order value, and have been around the block a few times. They're spending a lot, they're gathering a lot of data, etc. When you're just starting out, the ROAS target objective won't be as accurate, and Meta will not really fully know, who is most likely to place an order with a high return on ad spend. Because you also need to understand that return on ad spend is a difference between amount spent and the average order value. So if you spend $100 and your average order value is 300, you've got a 3 ROAS. But if Meta does not know what the average order value is, so the average AOV, then it's very hard for Meta to figure out what kind of person is most likely to do this. So in most situations, if you're starting out or if you're spending less than 10k a month on ads, just go for the highest volume or value objective. Now, another new feature is the budget scheduling feature, and this will allow you to increase your budget during specific times or specific days. Now, I do not recommend you increasing or decreasing the budget based off of a specific time, again, unless you're spending an incredibly large amount on ads. If you're spending anywhere less than 10k a month on ads, do not even bother with this. If you're spending anywhere from, let's say, 10 to 100k, I wouldn't even say 10 actually, I'd say 20 to 100k a month. It might be worth doing like a cross analysis to see what days you get more sales and if there's any kind of consistency with that. So for example, we have one brand that launches a new collection on Saturdays, and Saturdays naturally is a day where she has a very high return ad spend and a lot of sales. So we double down on that by obviously increasing the budget on the Saturday and then lowering it on the Friday, because that is the day before the new collection obviously arrives, and there's not a lot of stock currently at that moment in time. Now, in theory, technically, you could also say, well, why do you not just keep the budget consistent? Because people that see the ad on a Friday might come back on a Saturday and place an order, and that is a very valid argument. We've noticed from the data, and again, from a direct response standpoint, that decreasing the budget on a Friday, increasing it slightly on the Saturday, actually, benefits us from a return ad spend point of view. But that is a very valid argument, and like I said, in most cases, I wouldn't even bother with this unless you're spending quite a significant amount of money. It is interesting to test out. Then audience segment reporting. This is fairly standard. This is not necessarily new. It's not set up for this account because this is a sandbox account, but what this will allow you to do is to give Meta more information on your customers, so that when you're looking through the report, and you can actually segment, okay, who is an existing customer and who is a complete new customer, and based off of that, you will also get metrics. So you'll see the cost per new customer acquisition and the cost for someone to order again. And rather than this being just a blended CPA or a blended return ad spend, you can actually distinguish, okay, how much are we actually spending to acquire a new customer, how much are we spending to get a existing customer to come back, and which one of the two is it worth spending more money on. We've had situations in the past where we've had clients that have an extremely high returning customer rate, and when we just run ads without the audience segment reporting and without like messing around with this too much, Meta will just spend on the existing customers over and over again. And that is good because obviously that the CPA is lower, the average order value is higher because it's that trust, but you also need to understand that you can only do that a finite amount of time. There will be a point where existing customers have already ordered every single product and have already ordered for their friends and family, etc. You will need, for the longevity of the brand, you will need to focus on new customer acquisition more often than not. So even if you have a high returning customer rate, even if you have a product that is something that people just buy over and over again, always keep in mind that if you want to expand, if you want to scale a brand, in the long term, in the long run, you will need to focus on getting new customers through the door as well. And a good way to feed Meta the data on who is an existing customer, who is not an existing customer, is by the audience segment reporting. And like I said, it's also good for you as well to see, okay, how much are we spending to acquire a new customer? How much are we spending on getting an existing customer back through the door again? So that is it regarding the campaign level. In terms of the ad set level, a few changes. The big one is probably with regards to audiences. Now, of course, Meta doesn't really want us to run any kind of interest-based target anymore, and they've now chosen to say further limit the reach of your ads. And if you click on that, you are still able to run interest-based targeting and make changes with regards to the audiences. But the way Meta ideally want you to run ads is to not do anything from a ad set or audience selection standpoint, and do all of your testing from a creative standpoint. So simply put, rather than saying, okay, I want to target people interested in sneakers, you leave the audience targeting blank, so broad. So you do not select an interest, you do not select an age, you do not select a gender. And then in your creative, you create a creative that resonates with people interested in sneakers. So it's a little bit of a shift in terms of how you need to think about ads. But once you understand that, it is actually a lot easier, because you can literally skip over the whole ad set level. Just trust Meta's algorithm to do their thing, and place a lot more time and emphasis on creating concepts, because that is another thing that I also see. That mistake I see made quite often is that people, brands and brand owners, they still think in terms of customer avatars, which from a total marketing standpoint is great, but from a Meta standpoint, I would much rather focus on concepts. So what do I mean by that? Let's take, for example, the massage muscle gun. Rather than saying, okay, we've got customer avatar 1 who is an athlete, he's between the age of 18 and 25, He's based in, I don't know, New York. He does, he's a runner, he jogs, etc. That's a customer avatar. Now, what I would much rather focus on, and what I've noticed from a meta standpoint to work much better, is to actually use a concept. So rather than like really going minuscule in terms of the targeting, and again, not from a targeting ad set standpoint, from a targeting avatar standpoint, is to focus on a concept. So what do I mean by concept? Well, for example, again, so back to the muscle gun example, we can have someone who wakes up stiff and needs to stretch. So that is concept one. Now, whether that is an athlete, whether that is someone who is elderly, whether that is a male or female, it doesn't really matter. The concept stays the same. Someone who wakes up stiff and needs to stretch. Then as a second concept, we can have someone who does, it is like more focused on the athlete, someone who trains hard and needs to recover. So concept one is someone who wakes up stiff and needs to stretch. Concept two is someone that trains hard and needs to recover. And then we can have like a third concept where we focus on the output. So someone who needs to be loose and warmed up for a specific workout or activity. So rather than, okay, you've done an activity, you're stiff, you need to stretch, it's the opposite. You've got some kind of event coming up, whether you're doing a high rocks or you're running a marathon or whatever, and you need to be warmed up and loose. That is concept number 3. So rather than focus on custom avatars, focus on concepts. If you need any help with this, just try Claude or ChatGPT. There's quite a lot of good insights that you can get from that as well. And it might actually be worth just uploading all your sort of traditional customer avatars and then asking the AI, okay, what kind of concepts can I create from this? And then your ad sets become the concepts rather than, whereas previously your ad sets sort of were the interest targeting. And then from a creative standpoint, a lot has changed. A lot more thought does need to go into what is in the ads, and what I like to do and what I've had the most success with is focus on awareness levels. So what do I mean by that? If you guys have not picked up my book yet, make sure you do. It's on Amazon. It's like $5 or $10 depending on sort of where you get it from. I think it's €5 in the Netherlands. I go through the whole Eugene Schwartz awareness level concept, and I map out sort of, okay, for every awareness level, what can you do from a headline standpoint, from an angle standpoint, from a creative standpoint, going back to the muscle gun. So someone that is completely unaware can be someone, for example, that feels like their muscles are never fully relaxed or fully rested. They don't even realize they've got a problem yet. They just have sort of noticed, okay, that is the situation here. Then someone who's problem aware is someone who notices that, okay, my muscles are actually, quite stiff. I feel like, I need to do something about that. That is problem aware. But other than that, there's no association with, the muscle gun or that product in any way, shape or form. So for that person, a lot more education and information is needed to get that person to understand that, okay, the muscle gun is actually the right solution for that situation. Then you have, of course, solution aware. So solution aware is someone that knows, okay, I need some kind of massage, or I need some kind of solution to get rid of the tight muscles because I feel like my muscles are never relaxed. So this, again, is someone that already understands, okay, I need to find something to stop the problem that I've got, but they're not already aware of the muscle gun or of the particular product that you're running for. Then people that are already product aware, again, they understand, okay, the muscle gun in general, not particularly your product or your brand, might actually be better than just getting a massage or going to physiotherapy or anything like that. And then you've got the most aware, and they know about the name of your brand, the product, the price points, etc. And these people need little to no information on the benefits of the muscle gun. They just need to know, okay, how much is it going to cost me? What is the shipping like? What kind of reviews have you got, etc., etc. So for every different stage of the awareness level, you need to speak to your audience in a different way. So you've got your concepts, you've got your awareness levels, and that is what you need to play around with, rather than previously where you just had customer avatar and you just throw like 3 to 5 creatives. So do you need more creatives for this? 100%, because then the next variable obviously is statics, UGC, and video. So you've got your concepts on the one end, you've got your awareness levels on the other end, and then you've also got, for each different level of awareness, for each different concept, you've also got people that resonate most with statics, people that resonate most with lifestyle content and people that resonate most with UGC and videos, etc. So already by just naming those 3 variables, you can create up to 20 to 50 different variations that will speak to different audiences within those concepts. And that is why now it is very creative heavy on Meta, because people respond to different types of content based off of different types of awareness levels, to different concepts in a different way. And that is something that you need to be ready for from a Meta ad standpoint. And to be fair, if you look into the Facebook ads library, you can see this as well, right? Like right now, Stanley Europe, so not even the main Stanley, has 690 plus ads active right now at this moment in time. And Stanley by no means is the biggest brand on earth, but for a brand like Stanley, who's obviously pretty well established, 690 ads running simultaneously. Nike right now have 2,000 ads running at once. So again, very large brands. A lot of also catalog sale type content, but still 2,000 ads are running right now at this moment in time. And some of them have been started like the 25th of April. This has been on since the 25th of April. It's February at the time of recording this, February 2026. So this has been running for almost a year now. Next one up, slightly less, but H&M UK. So just in the UK alone, H&M are running 140 different types of ads all at once. So literally at the time of recording this. So as you can see, the list goes on and on. Brands big and small are running a lot of different types of creatives, a lot of different types of concepts and content. And this is something that can be very intimidating for a small brand, but there are definitely ways around this. We're building out a whole system for this for our current clients. If you want to know more about this, or if you want me to build this in public, please let me know in the comments down below. And what this will basically do is work as like an autonomous workflow engine. It will analyze your current creatives, see what type of content works best in this particular account, and create more variations off of that, but also take it into consideration the industry and the market. So for example, now it's February at the time of recording this. So take the best performing creative, look at what kind of deals and offers are currently coming, Valentine's Day for example, and then creating variations of that based off of the best performing concepts, but also having this completely done on autopilot with AI without you having to spend thousands on expensive UGC agencies and expensive photo shoots, etc. etc. So again, if you want to know more about that and you want me to start documenting more of that, please leave a comment down below and I'll start to create more content on this. But anyway, in a nutshell, that is kind of where the Meta platform is going. I'd say the main thing that if you were to take away something from this video is that creative is king, interest testing and audience targeting, etc. is slowly becoming obsolete. You need to start thinking in terms of concepts rather than in customer avatars, and you also need to be aware of the fact that now you need to start creating a lot more content for different types of micro segments rather than one particular customer audience. So that is it for today's video. If you'd like us to take a look at your strategy, your brand and your ads, check out the link in the description box down below. We can do a complete audit for you. Worst case scenario, you guys just walk away with a complete free audit and you can go on and do it yourself. If you like the opportunity to work together with us, we think you're a right fit, then obviously we can present that as well. Like the video if you got something out of it. Comment down below what you'd like to see from this channel next. Subscribe to the channel for more, and I'll see you guys in the next video.